could have brought you here?
Fire Emblem Three Houses is a tactical RPG developed by Intelligent Systems and something named Koei Tecmo Games that released on July 26, 2019 for the Nintendo Switch. In Fire Emblem Three Houses, each of your characters can use a variety of weapons such as swords, axes, bows, and magic, among others. Each mission you undertake offers a wide variety of tactics and strategies that you can use to complete your objective. With the game's rewind mechanic, I found that there was almost always a way out of any tight situation that I found myself in. I played the game on hard difficulty with casual settings, so there was no permadeath, but there was still a bit of a challenge. Once the game got going, I more or less steamrolled through everything until I reached about the midpoint of the story. From that point on, I found that the game got increasingly more difficult, particularly in the final stages of the game. I experienced battles that were as quick as 20 to 30 minutes, and battles that lasted up to 2 hours long. So there was a pretty good variety as it related to missions that I steamrolled and missions that actually took some serious thinking. And as much as it's a strategy game, Three Houses is a fairly strong narrative experience. The overall story was pretty good, involving several twists and mysteries along the way, albeit with some weaknesses here and there, particularly as it related to the antagonists. You're given some freedom as it relates to choosing your path through the story. As the title suggests, there are 3 different houses involved in the story, and you choose which one you're going to lead pretty early in the game. One of those houses then branches off into 2 different directions, creating 4 different pathways throughout the story, with varying storylines, dynamics, and endings. You'll find a very large cast of characters in the game, each with their own interests and characteristics that create for some interesting character dynamics. As the game progresses, you'll see relationships and interesting dynamics develop between all of the characters who join you throughout the journey. My biggest problem with Three Houses, by far, was the amount of micromanagement. The game is structured within a calendar, which includes one main story mission at the end of each month, and each month begins with you exploring the monastery, which is the game's hub, to complete some simple quests, do small jobs like fishing or gardening, and exploring the large cast of characters. And then before every mission, there's an expansive amount of party management that takes place to ensure that you're ready for the next battle. Which characters are you taking with you? Are certain characters better suited for that particular battlefield? Which class is each character? What weapons are they using? Do those weapons need to be repaired? Is a character's supporting battalion recharged? And probably something else I can't remember right now. It was just a lot between each mission, and it really grinded me down. I like the core principle of these sorts of tasks, but they generally took me much longer to actually do than I felt like they should have, and that's with me skimming my way through a lot of it. Visually, the game looks pretty solid. The environments look good enough for what they are, but they get incredibly repetitive as they get recycled through all of the different missions you're going to do throughout the game. However, the anime-styled cutscenes that the game uses for its major story points are excellent, and I really enjoyed them. It added something pretty cool into cutscenes that, for the most part, were just 2 characters standing there looking at each other and not really doing anything. And unlike most of the other Switch titles that I've played, Three Houses actually ran pretty well. I played the game with my Switch docked, and I didn't encounter many, if any, frame drops. The game stalled a little bit during major character deaths, but it ran pretty smoothly for the most part, so I don't really have any performance complaints. Three Houses' biggest strength, by far, is its replayability. With 4 different paths, a large cast of characters, and the flexibility for any character to become any of the game's wide variety of classes, you could very easily play Three Houses 4 times and come out with 4 completely different experiences. I think my playthrough came in around 42 hours, and that's with me skipping a lot of things as I started to get sick of the micromanagement, so I could very easily see how this could be a 200 plus hour game for some people. Fire Emblem Three Houses was pretty good, and it did a lot of things that I liked. For my first experience with a Fire Emblem game, I really enjoyed it, and I could definitely see myself playing more games in the franchise as time goes on. If you like strategy and narrative-based games, I would absolutely recommend Fire Emblem Three Houses.